A National Arab American Convention is happening in Dearborn, and California Congressman Ro Khanna is in Metro Detroit tonight, set to be one of the speakers for that conference. He's also making headlines in Washington, D.C., pushing for a bipartisan effort to force the release of Jeffrey Epstein's files. Good evening, Congressman. Thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Good evening.
Good to have you, Congressman. This is your fifth visit to Dearborn in the past few years. Why is this city and Michigan more broadly such a priority for you politically?
Well, it was a priority certainly during Kamala Harris's election, and I was a surrogate for her and came out here. But it also is a place where we can understand the pain and the suffering of the Palestinian people and what is going on in Gaza. We need to end this war. We need to stop providing military sales to Israel that are being used to kill civilians. We need to recognize a Palestinian state that doesn't have Hamas, that recognizes a secure Israel. And I have gone across this country to argue for a way forward and an end to this horrific war.
Congressman, I want to talk more about ArabCon was moved from Washington, D.C. to Dearborn to connect more directly with the Arab American community. What do you think Washington leaders need to learn from what's happening here in Metro Detroit?
Well, they need to understand with the Arab American community the sense of loss and pain. I mean, people have lost their entire families in Gaza. This is not some theoretical issue. This is people's mothers and fathers and cousins. People tell stories of having 10 extended family members killed or starved, and this has been going on years. They are hurt. They are hurt by America's complicity in it, and they're hurt that they are totally not being heard.
No doubt this is being felt here in Wayne County. It's actually become a bellwether for Arab American political engagement, you might say. What message do you think Arab American voters in Dearborn and Metro Detroit are sending to both major parties right now?
That they have failed our country, that they have failed the moral test, that they have allowed 60,000 people to be killed in Gaza, many of them women and children, that the life expectancy in Gaza has gone from 70 to 45, and that we continue to send these missiles and these bombs that are being used by Netanyahu to continue a war that everyone says should not be going on. Look, I called day one for the release of the hostages. I said that Hamas needed to be destroyed in terms of the people who committed those acts. That happened in a few months. This has gone on for 2 years, and the United States has been funding it. And so we owe the country an explanation, and we need, frankly, a new generation of leadership.
Congressman Khanna, you've called for the recognition of a Palestinian state in Congress. You've done that on the floor there. How do you see that resonating with voters here in Metro Detroit, where the Palestinian issue is, of course, deeply personal, as you just pointed out?
Well, we'll see tomorrow when I speak, but I think that's one of the reasons they invited me. Look, 150 countries have recognized a Palestinian state. And let's be clear, for all the propaganda when people say, oh, you're recognizing Hamas. No, we're not. The letter explicitly says no Hamas. The letter explicitly says that they need to lay down their arms. The letter explicitly says that they need to recognize Israel as a secure Jewish democratic state. This is the position of France, of the United Kingdom, of Canada, of Australia, of 4 out of 5 of the permanent Security Council members. And now I have led the letter, a historic letter. 47 of my colleagues have joined. And I believe this is going to become the position of the Democratic Party.
You know, in Dearborn, city leaders often say national attention only comes here during election years or moments of crisis. What do you say to community members who feel maybe used by politicians rather than genuinely represented?
Well, I'm here in a non-election year. I've been here before in non-election years. Now, I will say that I'm here partly because of the crisis in Gaza and a search for a peace and a search for a better way forward. But the reality is that we need to come here and listen and build relationships well before an election year. And I think it was sobering for the Democrats. I mean, we lost Michigan. We should never have lost Michigan. And we lost Michigan because of Gaza. Anyone who says otherwise just hasn't seen the numbers. Young people didn't show up to vote. We lost a lot of people in places like Dearborn. We lost this state because we didn't listen to the community.
All right, let's get to another topic that we told the viewers we would get to. You and Representative Thomas Massie are leading a bipartisan discharge petition to force a House floor vote on releasing all Epstein-related documents. Given opposition from GOP leadership and concerns about privacy and political backlash, how do you plan to build enough support, especially across party lines, to actually get 218 signatures that you need.
We're doing this. Look, this isn't about politics. This is about standing with survivors. These were young girls at the age of 14 who were raped and then told to recruit junior high and high school students to be abused. It's horrific. And we have, Massey and I, built a bipartisan coalition. We have 217 signatures, including Marjorie Taylor Greene, including Lauren Boebert and Nancy Mace, prominent MAGA supporters, prominent Trump supporters. And we're going to get the 218 signature as soon as Adelita Grijalva is sworn in. She should be sworn in Tuesday. We'll see if they play games and delay it. But ultimately, she will be sworn in. We will have the votes. We're going to vote in the House to release the files. And of all the things I've done, I am so proud of working to bring this country together, to stand up for survivors and to protect America's children.
If they are in fact released, what do you think is going to be in those files?
Well, I think you're going to see a lot of powerful elite people who never had accountability. I mean, we just released the files today, some of the files, and you have Jeffrey Epstein meeting with Elon Musk, meeting with Bill Gates, meeting with Peter Thiel. Come on. I mean, he wasn't the president of the United States. How is this person meeting so many powerful people? There is something that is rotten there. We need to have justice for either those who participated in Epstein's crimes or who covered it up. And the American people are sick of a government that protects rich and powerful people while they see their own lives not succeeding. They saw deindustrialization in places like Michigan. The middle class has declined, and yet these rich and powerful men are getting away with things. And that's what we're trying to change, to have a government that actually works for people again.
Congressman, I know there's been talk of you actually running for president as well. Any thoughts on your potential run for president in the next go-around?
Well, I'm so focused right now in 2025, and the thing I'm most focused on is getting these Epstein files released, making sure that we actually end this brutal war in Gaza, and then articulating my vision on economic patriotism. I have a vision of a Marshall Plan, not for Europe, but for America, how we're going to bring new jobs, new industries, new technology in every community, where the economic success of every family, every community is our highest priority. That's my passion, and I'm going to continue to fight for those issues. You know, we'll see where the politics goes, but that I believe what I'm doing is the right thing for this country.
All right, Congressman Ro Khanna from Southern California in Metro Detroit for ArabCon, set to be held in Dearborn. Thanks so much. We appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.